Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're looking more into my DJI Mavic Mini 2. Now, I know I've done one video where I've just done shots with it. I've done, So I've done the original unboxing, I crashed my drone, shots with it, second unboxing, and now number 5. Going around and testing various shot forms, because with this I haven't done too much with it. I've done like video and standard photo, but I haven't really played around with all the other features on it. So that's what I want to do today. Oh, that was a lovely voice crack. That's what I want to do today. There we go. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take this thing outside, we're gonna take it off the ground, and then we're gonna play around and take some photos, videos, just play around, see everything that this thing really has to offer based on the camera, not based on all the flying aspects. Now, what I'm about to say is going to be really stupid. I want to try and get all these different experiments done within a half hour. Because right now I'm only running with one battery for the drone, because the other two, they're charging. So if I can get this done, beautiful. If not, well, it is what it is. Not really much you can change about that. Alright, she's off. Let's just move it to the center of the trees. Okay, we're up. So, the way this is going to work is I'm going to use one of the features, and then I'm going to... What the heck is that? Is that a swallow? What the... I have no clue what that was. But the way this is going to work, I'm going to set... I think it's a crow. I'm going to set the camera to work with a certain feature, and then I'm going to post the feature once it is fully captured. And that is how this is going to work. So the first feature that I'm going to use is, single shot. Just do a single shot. Right now I'm sitting at 55 meters elevation. That's a single shot. So that'll come up right about now. Oh, I don't like that mode right now. So I went into the Quickshot feature, and, after I've crashed one drone, half of these don't look like fun. In the Quickshot feature, there's Droney, Rocket, Circle, Helix, and Boomerang. So I've shot in Droney by myself before, because all that Droney is Droneys just take off at an angle, essentially. So it's what you guys have seen me do in other videos. Like, I'll show you. Now I'm going to back it up onto the deck just so that way it doesn't hit the trees behind it, because for as much as, this thing has sensors on it, they're not the best for backing up into a tree. I've done it before. I don't like the look of this. Now, you'll notice that I stopped that a little early. I'll show you why. So you can probably see my drone right there. That's my drone. That big tree, so there's two here. There's one here, and then there's one behind it. If I kept going with that, my drone would have gone directly into that second tree, which would not have been fun. So let's bring it back. Oh, wrong way. thing is, with the droney feature, it's automatic, but you can stop it whenever. However, I feel more comfortable being in control, where I am able to just launch it as soon as I want to, instead of having to do it gradually. Now, up next we have rocket. Rocket just requires it to go directly straight up, which isn't too bad in the area I'm in right now. I just gotta watch out for one tree in order to do rocket. I do enjoy that rocket feature. You know, it's kind of cool to be able to do that, just so that way you don't have to be staring down trying to figure out how to do that by yourself. So I find that as a cool feature, just because like I'm terrible at having my gimbal move at the correct degree. So allowing it to do it by itself is a big advantage on for me. Up next we have the circle. I don't know if I want to do this one. How wide of a circle can I get it? At a constant altitude. How big of a circle is it? I'm going to try it, but if this goes wrong, I'm stopping it immediately. Because I have a small opening of maybe 20 meters is the closest tree from where I'm sitting. And yeah, for me to do a circle in it, I'll keep it at a low elevation to avoid branches and all that. But if it swings too wide, it will crash into a tree. With the circle, great feature. It went phenomenally well. However, the one thing that DJI doesn't mention on their app is that you control the distance that it rotates at as well as the elevation. On the app it only says the elevation is controlled. So I got a bit worried. I set my distance and it flew around at that distance, which made me feel very comfortable with it. So that worked better than my expectations. I was expecting it to be like, alright, I see you, back up 10 feet, crash into everything around me. So that went well. Up next we have helix. Well, flying in a spiral. Oh, this is not gonna be fun. I don't know if I can do this one here. Let's just set it to 10 meters. Anything goes wrong with this one, I am landing it right away, just because I'm not crashing this thing. So with the helix, you need big, wide open space. Oh, I just cut a couple leaves. Let me just move out of there. So I wanted to keep my drone where it was just to show you how close it got to hitting a tree, but it trimmed some leaves, so I had to move it out just because the wind's blowing the leaves into the prop. But this is where I had to stop it. That is where I had to stop it. So I had to move it out about a half a foot. You can still see how close it was to crashing into that tree. It's not because of the lack of information on this system, it's just with the DJI Mini 2, it doesn't have as many sensors as some of its more expensive cousins, which it makes sense. You can't be putting expensive sensors on something that isn't going to cost a lot of money. I fully agree with that. However, it's just with these flight options, it kind of does make it a wreck, because if somebody just sets it and doesn't pay attention to it, it will crash. Now, the last one I have in these quick shots is boomerang. This one's gonna scare the shit out of me too. Well, let's do it. Alright, so Helix, or not Helix, what was I doing that one? Was it Helix? I can't even remember. Boomerang. Yeah, Boomerang's another one where you need to be in a wide open space to do it, because, again, I almost crashed into a tree, which is just becoming a norm with half of these shots. But, you know, like I said, it comes with the territory. You get a cheap drone, you don't have as many sensors, therefore it can't detect as many things, and it is more likely to crash. Now, here's the last setting on it. So I know I've done photo, video, I'll probably catch one at the end, but this one is kind of what I'm excited for. I've messed around with this one a little bit, however, you know, I have some strong opinions on it. So let's do panorama. Now, what I found with the panorama is that you have to be at a higher elevation for most of it, just because, so I'll show you a photo if I can, if the screen doesn't start blurring or anything, of me taking one that I did last night. And so with that photo, it is going to be on my phone, just because of the different problems that I've had with it. Because these panorama photos, they're shot in 360-degree mode, which is like the sphere. So a lot of them, they don't show everything in the atmosphere around it, but with the DJI, when it comes up on your phone, it does show that. Though, once you move it off your phone, it doesn't do that. So that's what I kind of want to mess around with. So, right now I'm just flying directly vertical upwards. Normally when I do this, I put it in sport mode because it will fly higher more quickly. And, you know, I'm just going to pick a good elevation, adjust my camera so that way I can try to get more atmosphere in it than, what is it? I can't remember the spheres anymore. Basically, I want to get more sky in the picture than ground. That's because, like, there's a lot of ground out here, and you'll see that with some of my photos. So, just for the meme, I'm going to move it up to this height, which I can't say. There we go. And start. Now, I have had some issues with this, doing it in heavy wind, just because in the heavy wind, the gimbal will try to keep stabilizing as it flies and takes these pictures, which creates an issue when it's trying to adjust. And so with that, I had like 5 instances of issues occurring due to that, which it isn't bad, you just have to know when you're flying it that is going to happen. But with those gimbal stickings, it did kind of carry over for a little bit, as I did have it where I got the notification, gimbal stuck, I flew side to side, and it stayed in that FPV kind of setting, which kind of alarmed me because I didn't know if it was broken or what happened, but eventually it did go back to its original way. So I'll show you the one I captured last night. So this is the way that they get displayed on the screen. So as you can see, if that, I have to adjust it. Let's go, bam. Does that change it? Not really. But as you can kind of see, so this is the ground, and then the clouds here, and it kind of just goes out around it. I think that does a better job. Yeah, that definitely does. So now you can see, like, that's the ground there. Not focusing on my nail, but the ground's in center, and then you see all the clouds around it. And so that's the one, oh, that's bright. That's the one I captured last night. I'm going to keep it this brightness just so I can show you the one I captured now. The one thing that sucks about flying a drone on a bright day is, like, you blink. Like, you can see it 1 second, you blink, and that thing's just like, aight, peace out, boy. Alright, now this is the one that it just captured. So I gotta put it back up to that. So this is the one that it just captured. Like again, you can see the ground and all the clouds around it. Why the... Oh, are you kidding me? Alright. I gotta focus on landing this thing. Plus, the camera battery's almost dead. Now I gotta focus on this. I'll be back in a minute. I gotta get new batteries for everything now. Alright, so I was lucky enough to get a video as the drone did its emergency landing just because of low battery. And so that will be up now. I'll put it at the end. If it's not up now, it'll be at the end. That's the easiest way I can describe this. Though, with the videos and all that I captured today, you'll notice that the quality that I capture isn't at the same level as some other people who have the Mini 2. And so that's out of my own personal preference, because with this camera, the highest it can capture is 1080p 30, I believe is the highest, or 1080p 60. I think 1080p 60 is correct. Yeah, 1080p it shoots 60, 30, and 24. So right now I'm shooting in 1080p 24. And then with the drone, I like to keep it in 1080p 30, just so that way, as I'm editing, I don't have to scale anything in an output. So it doesn't have, you know, this camera getting digitally enhanced to be 4K to match that drone. If at any point I do feel as though there's something that I want to capture, and it's like, whoa, I need to capture this in 4K, I will take that step and I will have it where it is output at 4K. However, right now I'm not having any of those like, whoa, this is the time. I'm not having any of those moments to really be like, this is when I do 4K, like right now, right here, right now, 4K. I just haven't had that moment yet. As well as, you know, digitally enhancing a photo as it becomes output. It doesn't always make it look bad, but in some cases it does alter the resolution, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. And I'm just worried that in my case it will be for the worse. So, you know, I can't say these videos are like cinema quality already, so I just have to be careful, because if it gets dropped down that extra peg, it's just gonna be a nice try. And yeah, I just want to try to avoid that, try to keep these videos looking as best as they can for the time being. But like I said, if there are those moments where I see it as like, you know, this is the time, I will take that step forward. And so, you know, I didn't really pay attention to the panoramic shot in this video just because I took it and then while in the air I started to get the emergency landing warning. So I showed you how they look on the screen when, like in the DJI Fly app. However, now I'll input a picture of how it looks when you take it out, because like you have to go and then you stitch it yourself, and every app and software stitches it differently, and it becomes kind of a shit show. So I'll put that in now. So the way that I do it is, my photo editing software that I use is GIMP, just because like Photoshop and all that, like I ain't got that kind of money. Even the student price, like I still can't be justifying spending that much per month. Like when it was back and you could just outright buy the software, that's a different story. And I wish I got into things back then. However, now it's like you gotta subscribe and you keep paying, which I can't really justify, so I use GIMP instead. And so with GIMP, the way that you have to do it is you go through, so you have to, you go to image, transform, flip image 180 degrees, and then you have to go over to, I think it's filters, distort, poles, I think, is what it's under, but that's what gives it the sphere look. And yeah, that's the way I have to do it. I know it will never turn out as good as like the DJI app shows it. However, like, I just got to get used to that. But, you know, I know I did a video, like, doing brief things about it. I know, like, I've no idea, this is the 5th video about the drone, but, like, part of me wants to just, like, deep dive in the specs. I know, like, 6 is a lot for it, but, no, I love this thing. Like, as much as this is my second one, I love it. Plus, I just feel like a lot of things aren't displayed about drones when it comes to YouTube and all that, because like you have, don't get me wrong, Peter McKinnon, Potato Jet, Mehdi Hapoya, you have all the big names that like they get sent the drones and they look at it from the technical side, and then you have like Casey Neistat, who's just like, this thing works for what I need it to. It's just like you never hear, or at least I've never seen it, people actually deep dive in all the specs. But I may do that. I may not. I may do it. It all depends on the research I have, the experience I have with the drone, how well I can explain everything, and just so that it all makes sense. But, you know, this is where I'm going to end it. So, I am bored, but I want to see if I can remember how to do this. Don't know if I can. So what is it? So that's how you do it. So it's da, da, da. Okay, I got this. I got this. Alright. Oh, I skipped one too far. Alright, damn it. Alright, this is the last try. If I don't get it, I'm just gonna end the video. I mean, I'm gonna end the video either way. You're not... I should make this a live stream next time. Just sit here trying to get it. Okay, one last try. I almost had it. I'm counting that. Alright, peace out, guys. Don't forget, don't party too hard, and I'll catch you guys again in the next video.